Right, here we go in the second in our series and the first in our series of level 8 to 9 improvements. And here we go. We're going to start off with this question and we're going to take 30 seconds to see how we get on with this, and then I'll go through it and then we'll move on to the other questions. Right, so we're going to do 64 to the power of minus a third. If we do that, we get 64 to the power of minus 1/3. It's the same as 1 over 64 to the 1/3. And power of 1/3 means cube root, so it's 1 over the cube root of 64. So you should really know that. 4 squared is 16, 4 cubed is 64, so it's 1 over 4. Okay, let's give you another 30 seconds to have a go at this one. Remember to try and do these without a calculator to better improve your understanding of the powers. Right, that's the 30 seconds I suggested we'd have for this question. So let's have a look at this. We'll do 9 to the minus 3 over 2, which is the same as 1 over 9 to the 3 over 2. Remember, the minus means we put 1 over it. And to the power of 3 over 2 means the 2 means we square root, and the 3 means we cube. So the easiest thing is usually to do the bottom, so we'll square root the 9 first, and then we'll cube it. And the square root of 9 is 3, so we've got 1 over 3 cubed, which is equal to 1 over 27. Right, I'll have another 30 seconds to have a go at this one. There's going to be 6 of these, and then we're going to move on to some surds and some trickier questions. Right, let's have a look at this one. That's your 30 seconds. And remember, minus, if you've got a fraction, means you flip the fraction. So 1/16 to the power of minus a half is equal to 16 over 1 to the power of a half. And the power of half means square root, and 16 over 1 is just 16. So we just have the square root of 16. And that just leaves us 4. I'm just going to give you a minute to have a go at this one because it's a little bit more involved. If you spot any mistakes, do put it into the chat. It's only lagging by a couple of seconds at the moment. Okay, here we go. Disappeared for a moment there. So we're doing 27 over 64 to the power of minus 4 over 3. So 27 over 64 to the power of minus 4 thirds. Remember, the minus means we flip the fraction. 64 over 27. The 4 over 3. Well, let's cube root everything to start off with. So we're going to cube root 64 and cube root the 27. So we'll then do the power of 4. The cube root of 64 is 4, as we just looked up. And the cube root of 27 is 3. So we've got that to the power of 4. 4 to the power of 4 is the same as, I could say it as 2 to the power of 8, or 16 to the power of 2 is 2, 5, 6. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So we have 256 over 81. And we know those don't cancel because this is just going to be powers of 2. Yep, and this is just going to be powers of 3. Okay, so therefore nothing's going to cancel down. Right, another minute to have a go at this one. Okay, so here we go. Let's just do this one. So we've got to turn this into a single fraction to start off with. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 gives me 49 on the top over 9. The minus a half. So the minus means we flip that, so we get 9 over 49 of a half. And that just means square root it. So we square root the 9 and we square root the 49. That leaves us 3 over 7 as our answer. Okay, another minute to have a go at this one. Okay, right, again we've got to turn it into a single fraction. And we're going to do 15 times 8, which gives us 120. Add on 5 gives me 125 over 8. The minus 2 over 3. Remember the minus, turn it upside down. 125. The power of 2 over 3. The 3 on the bottom means we cube root everything. Just cube root that. Remember, it's not always the cube root you've got to do first. Sometimes you might square first, but generally do the bottom bit first because it gives you easier numbers. So cube root of 8 gives you 2. Cube root of 125 is 5. Square of all of that is 4 over 20. 5. That's the last one of those. So let's move on to the next sheet. And we're going to be doing some surds. So let's just give you, this one's quite a straightforward one. Just 30 seconds to have a go at this. See how you get on with that. Right. Okay, so that's what we've got to do here is we need to make the bottom, okay, we make the bottom equal to an integer, not a square root. Okay, this is what this, I didn't put the actual question in, which actually says rationalize a denominator. So we are rationalizing a denominator here, so we're going to times top and bottom by the square root of 35. So square root of 35, because if you times this by the square root of 35, then this just becomes 35 on the bottom. Okay, if you times by the same thing top and bottom, then it doesn't change it. So we end up with 15 times the square root of 35 on the top, and square root of 35 times square root of 35 is just 35 on the bottom. And then we can cancel this down. So 5 into 15 is 3, 5 into 35 is 7. So we're left with 3 lots of root 35 over 7. Alright, this one is a bit more tricky. Okay, again, we're going to rationalize the denominator. So you've got to times top and bottom by something to get rid of all the square roots on the bottom. I'm going to give you a bit longer on this one. I'll give you 60 seconds to have a go at this. Sorry about that, I just realised I've muted all my explanation to the last one. I'll explain this one a bit better, and I've just noticed this one's not quite on the screen. I'll get it on the screen, and then give you another 60. Now it's on the screen, and I'll explain it again. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's have a look at this. And hopefully you spotted you're going to times top and bottom by 6 plus the square root of 21 times the bottom by 6 square root of 21. And let's just do that. So we get 12 times 6 plus the square root of 21 over 6 minus root 21 times 6 plus root 21. On the top, 12 times 6 is 72. And then we get a plus 12 root 21. On the bottom, we're just going to get, you'll realise just 6 times 6 is 36, and then we're going to get the minus root 21 times the plus 20 root 21, because everything else cancels. We saw that on the last bit. Although I'll multiply it out just so you can see it. You get minus 6 root 21 plus 6 root 1. We've got 6 times minus root 21 gives you the minus 6, and that gives you the plus. And then we got minus root 21 plus root 21 squared. So that's just going to give me minus 21. So about that plus sign and put a minus 1 in there. So these two cancel. So 36 minus 21 is going to give me 15. And we've got over 72 plus 12 plus 1. And we can see that 3 goes into this and this and this. Cancel out by 3. That's 5. 3 into 7 is 2. 1 over is 4. 3 into 12 is 4. And there's nothing else can be cancelled. Root 21 can't be broken down because that's root of 7 times 3. They're prime. So therefore that can't be broken down. So our answer is 24 plus 4 root 5. Okay, so something a little bit more, there we go, something a bit more interesting, requiring more algebra. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to have a go at this because these are definitely a little bit trickier. Off you go. Okay, so let's have a look at these ones. So a bit more algebra and a little bit more thinking on the powers going on here. So then we're going to do 2 to the a plus 2. 2 to the a plus 2 is equal to 64. So that means we want to try and make these both powers of 2 is what you've got to do to solve this. So 64 as a power of 2 is 2 to the power of 6. Go 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and you get 64, that's 6 if you count that up. You get a plus 2 equals 6 because we've got 2 to the something equals 2 to the something. The something's a plus 2 and the other something is 6. So these must be equal for this to work. So if that's true, then a must equal 4. Similarly, we're going to write 9 to the b equals 1 over 127. Now, what is in common with 27 9? And they're both powers of 3. So therefore, we're going to try and write both as powers of 3. So 9 as a power of 3 is 3 squared. 3 squared to the power of b. And then we've got 1 over 27 is 1 over 3 cubed. Now, 3 to the power of 2. Now, what we're going to try and do is get these as 3 to the something, like we did here, 2 to the something, 2 to the something. We're going to try and get 3 to something equals 3 to something, and the something's equal. Times the two indices together, so as you get 3 to the 2b equals, remember 1 over means it becomes a minus when you get rid of the 1 over. So you get 3 to the minus 3. And so again, we've got 3 to the something equals 3 to the something. So now the somethings must be equal. So let's put 2b equals to minus 3. So b equals minus 3 over 2. Okay, have a go at this one. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to think about this one. If you're uncertain, try times by x plus root 2. Okay, so I suggested we times by x plus root 2, and if we do that, we get 7x minus root 2 on this side, and we get 5 times x plus root 2 on this side. Multiply out the brackets, and we get 5 times x is 5x, 5 times root 2 is 5 root 2. Subtract the 5x from both sides. We get 2x minus root 2 equals just 5 root 2. Add 1 lot of root 2 to this side to get rid of that. And then we add 1 lot of root 2 to get 6 root 2. Divide by 2, x equals 6 root 2 over 2. And you should realise that just cancels down to 3 root 2. That's our final answer. Okay, have a go at finding the integer c in this case. I'm just going to give you 60 seconds because you should be able to speed up on these now. Okay, that was probably a little bit quick. Sorry about that. That was a bit quick. I'll give you a few more seconds. See if you can finish off. A little bit more writing than I expected. Okay, let's start going through this. So again, we want to be able to get these all into powers of 2, and then we can work with it. So we can write the 8 over, so the 8 to the x minus plus 1, that is just 2 cubed. So the x plus 1 times by 2 to the x plus 1, that's quite straightforward. Over 4 is 2 squared, 2 squared to the 2x 1. Now, if we got to a power, we times these together. So we get 2 to the 3x plus 3 times 2 to the x plus 1. All over, times these together. We get 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 1 is plus 2. So let's add these two indices together because we're multiplying. So we get 2 to the 3x plus x is 4x. 3 plus 1 is 4, all over 2 to the 4x plus 2. And as we're dividing, we're going to do this index minus this index. So we can see we're going to take this away, the 4x is going to cancel, and we're just going to be left with 4 minus 2, which is 2. And of course, that is equal to 4. Right, last section coming up. Just a couple of questions. Actually, the next question follows on from this question. Have a go expanding all these out. I'll give you 2 minutes to do all 3. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. And we've got 6 minus root 7 times 6 plus root 7. So that's the same as 6. We do FOIL on this. First, outer, inner, last. The first two things, 6 times 6 is 36. The outer two things, 6 times root 7, 6 root 7. The inner two things is minus 6 root 7. You probably spotted they were going to cancel. Root 7 times root 7 is just 7, and minus times a plus gives me minus 7. So these two here cancel, and that will just leave us 36 minus 7, which is 29. 6 minus root 7 squared. You should remember, common mistake is to forget that this means this, and to just do 6 squared minus 7 squared, which is not correct. So we multiply that out. 6 times 6 is 36. Outers, 6 times another minus 6 root 7. That times that. Inners, times those together gives you another minus 6 root 7. Last two things, minus times minus is a plus. Root 7 times root 7 is 7. So we get 36 plus 7 is 43. Minus 2 lots of this gives me, sorry, trying to be too quick, gives me 12 root 7. So we're left with 4 root 7. Next one, same again. Don't forget to write it like this, or know that it's this. Easy mistake to make. So we're going to get 9. We're going to get 3 times 2 root 7, 6 root 7 again. Another 6 root 7. And then we're going to get 4 times 7, which is 28. 9 plus 28 is 37. Plus 12 root 7. So we get 37 plus 12 root 7. Right, let's page down. Now, remembering those answers, you can use these answers in the next bit if you've got them. So you might want to just quickly write them down. Here we go. You've just put that on screen. Okay, have a go at this. 2 minutes to see if you can get both of these done in 2 minutes left. Right, okay, let's have a look at this. So this, hopefully, the first part was quite straightforward. And you realise you just got this squared plus this squared square rooted to give you this. So let's do 6 minus root 7 squared plus 3 plus 2 root 7 squared. Now, in the first part of the question, we got this out to be 43 minus 12 root 7. And then we got this bit out to be 37 plus 12 root 7. And we can see, therefore, this is going to cancel with this to leave me just 80. That is, so BC squared is equal to 80, so BC will equal the square root of 80. You could simplify that. They haven't asked for that in this question on the My Maths questions, so you could just leave it as just root 80. Now, but if you wanted to cancel it down, let's look at what 80 is. 80 is the same as 4 times 20. So you've got the square root of 4 times the square root of 20, so that's 2 root 20. 20 is, oh, there's another 4 there, sorry. My apologies. So we get 2 times another root 4 times 5. So you're going to get 4 root 5 as your most simple answer. I'm just going to rub those out to leave myself a bit of space for working on this next part of the question. So we're going to find, we know they're similar. So this shape is an enlargement of the other shape. So we can find the scale factor of enlargement by doing 29 divided by 6 minus root 7. That gives us our scale factor. And then we're going to times that by the other length to find PQ. So we're going to do times by this to get PQ because this is our scale factor. Let me just rub out that circle, tidy up our working. We get times 3 plus 2 root 7. Now, difficulty with this is we're going to get 29 3 plus 2 root 7 all over 6 minus root 7. So we need to times top and bottom by 6 plus root 7 to get rid of this denominator because it wants it simplified. So we want to cancel out the denominator. So what we're going to do is just scroll down a little bit to have some more space. So multiply this all out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to times just the two brackets parts together, leave the 29 outside. It's always a good idea to keep your factors out. So we've got 29. Right. 29. We're going to do 3 times 6 is 18. And then we've got 3 root 7, so 3 root 7. 2 root 7 times 6 is another 12 root 7. 2 root 7 times root 7 is going to be 7 times 2, which is 14. And on the bottom, we just get 6 minus 7. Oh, sorry, not 6 minus 7. 36, 6 times 6 minus 7 just gives me 36 minus 7 is going to give me bottom. And that you can see why we cancel that out. Sorry, why we left that in there, that nicely cancels. So we get 18 plus 14 is 28 plus 4 is 32. And we've got 3 plus 12, that's 15 root 7. So it comes out quite nicely. So we have a 32 plus 15 root 7. Hope that helps you understand how to go about solving some of these problems. So generally, they're always going to test the same techniques. And the main technique they're going to test is this idea of when the minus and the plus leaves you an integer value or rationalizing the denominator. Next 8 to 9 live stream will be next Thursday. Next 6 to 7 will be next Tuesday.